let's just get into the number one topic that's going to be, I feel like the number one topic outside of the obvious Caleb Williams, but this is also connected to Caleb Williams, is Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I personally think he's going to be traded in the next week and a half, but here are some quotes that were very interesting to me. Came from one Albert Breer, who has a nice connection with the Chicago Bears. Ryan Poles, he said this in Sports Illustrated's website today. He said, such is the case with Bears and Justin Fields, with the team having gotten a little insight into what his trade value may be. Chicago staffers got inquiries from other teams on Fields in Mobile, Alabama, where the Senior Bowl was held. And while the Bears haven't shopped Fields, those conversations did allow the team to start to gouge the 2021 first-rounders worth out there on the market. The Bears are meeting over the next couple of weeks to finalize plans at quarterback, with the expectation that they'll have a plan in place for Indianapolis at the Combine next week. Now, the Bears love Justin Fields as a person and really like him as a player. And so I would say that whatever they do in the next few weeks will be with respect to a guy who gave them a lot physically and otherwise over the last 3 years. But I think the reality for Chicago will be the talent of Caleb Williams, plus the chance to reset the quarterback on the rookie contract clock will be too much for Chicago to pass on. So we will see. And once again, it's Albert Breer in Sports Illustrated today. Dante, that was your first time hearing those quotes. What do you feel from that? What do you take from those quotes Albert Breer
had? Nothing more the same of what we've already felt, that this is going to be around the time where if they do decide to move Justin, he will be moved. It's never been a thing where they dislike Justin or they think he can't do it. I think it's really to a point where it's like you're not going to risk your job for a guy that you didn't pick, and you have an opportunity to pick a guy, and it's not like they're about to reach for a quarterback. You're about to take someone who's been considered generational for the last couple of years. So you're going to put your faith in that, as opposed to Justin. And also, like you said, if Justin comes back and Justin succeeds, then you have to pay Justin. And that means that, you're a lot less limited. You're a lot more limited in how you can build this roster out. And so with them having a long-term, they've preached a long-term since Poles got there. So I think I think in the next week he'll be gone. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he'll be traded by Friday type shit, but it wouldn't shock me. But I do think, like you said, as we get closer to the Combine, man, everybody heads down to Indianapolis. I think they'll have some tentative, they'll probably start having some conversations and then lock something down. Like you said, by the time the wheels are up, leaving Indianapolis, I think Justin Fields would be probably in either the Atlanta Falcons uniform. Yeah.
You gonna keep pushing that Falcons thing. You gonna speak that into existence. I want no parts with the NFC. No parts with the NFC.
It depends on the compensation, but like I said, if you can get a second rounder and a player, like I said, like an Algier, like a Kyle Pitts, somebody that fits the spot,
Kyle Pitts is a dummy brick in my personal opinion. And I feel like I've said this on the show multiple times. I know it's probably unrealistic, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Unless they're offering the 8th pick, fuck off. That's what I would tell Atlanta. And that's why, because I don't want no parts of that. But I just want to tell people out there they can agree to a trade whenever they want to, but it wouldn't be announced or official till March 13th, which is the March 13th at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is the official start of the new league year. Bang, right. What did you was there anything different that you got from Albert Breer quotes?
Nah, because one of the things that I've said on this show is after the Super Bowl, I don't believe shit until it happens. Because everybody's going to be searching for a quote. Everybody's going to be searching for some news. The Bears is going to be one of those teams that are just going to be on the forefront of everybody's mind, and everybody's going to have a story. So officially, after the Super Bowl, once Patrick Mahomes hoisted up that trophy, I believe nothing until it actually happens, especially between now and the draft. Now, what I would like to see happen is I would like to see Justin, or I would at least like to see a quote from Shefty that says, all signs lead towards Justin Field being sent to here for a pick here or there. Because nowadays they won't necessarily say a trade. They'll say like a trade in principle or stuff like that. So I can't wait to see that, because I really would like to get this shit over with.
In principle is a key word. Keywords right there.
In principle. But also at the same time, I believe that nothing is going to happen until after the Bears have a conversation with Caleb Williams. So once they meet at the combine, then you should know a day or two. I'll say this. I'll at least say this. To go with what Britt was talking about, I actually think that there's a trade in place right now. I think that they have talked to a team or teams, and they know they have the parameters of a trade.
So you don't believe nothing about what he said about they're gonna meet over it. You think it's already said and done?
Yeah. Because once you hear them say that they're going to meet, they've already met. They're just telling you that they're gonna.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's like a celebrity death. Like if somebody says that this person is dead, they probably died the day before. They've met already. You can't go into this season and not have meetings and you've been out the playoffs. Since week 16, you've had meetings, fam. You've had meetings. The Super Bowl is done. You've had meetings. Now, especially when you think about it, especially when you're a front runner to be on Hard Knocks, with the amount of people that's for the Bears that's going to the Hall of Fame this year, you're probably gonna have a Hall of Fame game. So you have to get your year started earlier than other teams. So the Bears have already met and discussed. And I believe that they've already talked to teams and have a trade in principle in place. It all revolves around the conversation between the Brass and Caleb Williams. And if that conversation comes out good, then probably a day or two after the combine, since quarterbacks are really like last, a day or two after the combine, you're going to see the quotes of the trade in place sending Justin Fields to this team for this compensation.
And I think too, yeah, if you're a Justin Fields, which we're all Justin Fields supporters, I don't like saying Justin Fields supporters, but if you're a guy or a girl who is hell bent on wanting Justin back, you're gonna take some things from this quote to hold on, because if you have delusion, you have hope. But this is a done deal. I do put the little caveat with what you said about Caleb Williams. This is pending Caleb Williams conversation goes well, and let's just say it doesn't go well. What I will take from this, and it's kind of changing my mind a little bit, and unless Drake May just has a fantastic camp, they talk to him, they love this kid, I could see a world where Justin Fields comes back if the Caleb conversation goes to shit. Like, I feel like that would be, because the way they talk about him, I think that would be more of a realistic option than going for Drake May. That if I'm Ryan Poles and my job on the line, I would put more faith in Justin than I would Drake May. That's just me. And so now if Drake May has an amazing combine, he says all the things you want to hear in the meeting, then yeah, okay. If Caleb lets them know, or if they don't feel good about their conversation with Caleb, and even with the conversation with Caleb, I don't see any way where they have a bad conversation. There's only two things that would concern me if I'm, for a Bears fan thinking that Caleb doesn't want you. One, Caleb flat out says, I don't want to come here, which, as we've heard from everybody, Caleb doesn't want to be a villain. Caleb doesn't want to do what I don't see that happening. The other silent one is if he got an agent. Unless we hear one of those two things, I don't think that's going to be an issue whatsoever. Now, I'm also not one of people, as we want to transition this part, one thing I'm interested to seeing too is Caleb Williams' actual press conference. I know there's a lot of Bears fans out there, a lot of people who are team, we need Justin back, are gonna want him to basically go up there, say he loved deep dish pizza, he knows Pope Pimp every word, he loves everything by Chicago. You're not gonna get that from him. It's just not gonna happen. There's gonna be key words that you're gonna hear from him next week that Bears fans want to hear. But unless that happens, I think this is just they're doing Justin the respect to do this in a proper way, to make sure. And I actually wouldn't be shocked if he has a hand in which team he goes to.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me. Like, I think this team, and that a little bit with the Kevin Warren comments were to me. I think they're like, yo, we love Justin. We're not going to send him to the worst team in the league. They're
not gonna Jared Goff him.
Paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not